But 25, you are a legit adult. Any decision you make from this time forward is on you. That is, it's on me. Meaning, I need to make the decision of, am I letting myself down again? Or am I showing up for myself?
Okay, tuendele. The story continues.
So I go to the front. I'm like, you know, the Bible, the only verse I knew at the time was, you should not make a vow with God which you do not intend to keep. Something like that, paraphrasing. That's the only verse I knew.
You weren't even thinking John 3:16?
No. I had promised God. I told him, if these things happen, 1, 2, 3, if I show up, this song is sung and an altar call is done, I will do it. I will try you. So they say it works. I will give you a try.
On the 29th of February, which is a leap year.
Yes, it's a leap year.
So what happens? So you go.
I go.
First of all, you are sure at that time that God is talking to you. You are told nobody about this.
I had told no one.
You went with no one to church?
No. Did I know my cousin? Karimi was in church. How does she send me a message later and tell me, congrats cousin for giving your life to Christ? And God sent her there as a witness.
Yes.
She's the only cousin I grew up with. She's the only cousin who was in my lineup.
And you didn't know?
No.
Wow. So how are you feeling as you go? First of all, you are, I don't want to skip over this part because by the time you're getting up to go, you are sure God is talking to you.
Correct.
Nobody else could have orchestrated this. You know.
He's talking to me, and he's talking to me as his daughter. He is showing up in my life as my father. The identity. Because remember, I'm swaying between which version of me is me.
Okay.
As in, it was very precise. You as my daughter. So I go. Usually you go, then they tell you, then they usher you to start the new believers.
And it's just you alone?
It is me alone. You'd think there was it was me alone. As in, that whole show was for me. With a crowd of witnesses.
Including your cousin.
Including my cousin who knows me and who's going. Yes. So I can't even go back on it. Yes. So we go on. I do the discipleship. I start.
Okay. Are you excited now?
I'm scared. Because what does this mean? Does it mean I now start coming to church every Sunday? I've not been coming to church. Does it mean I stop going out? As in so many things.
Yeah. Okay. I need to understand this. You were a Catholic before.
Yes.
So under that, you don't get saved.
Yes, you don't. So this is totally new.
So though you went to church, there wasn't this thing of Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior.
No.
And so now this is new, a new thing that you're learning.
It's totally new.
Okay.
How do I even tell my parents that I have converted? Because this is what is, as in I've now become a Protestant.
Yes.
I don't even think I did. Because who do I even tell I've gotten born again? You get?
You don't?
I can't.
You can tell Karemi.
Yes. So I'm like, Karemi knows, but I'm not going to have that conversation.
I know, I get it.
Because what does it even mean? So I tried. I was more aware now of the decisions I was making. But I didn't know what it meant to try God. When I said I will give you a try, because I'm so down now, I will give you, show me what that means. But then I became calmer. And
you're at peace.
Yes. And I needed a job anyway. So I decided, okay, I've done IT, I like that I have that technical background, so that reception thing, I don't want to do administration. I started to think, and now come to think about it. an idea came to my mind. There must be a business side of computer science or of tech. There must be a place where business and tech interface. So, because I have this understanding, can I look at what tech companies exist? Then I go tell them, I want to be on your business side, because when I go talk to the clients, I'll be speaking their language. And that is what I did.
And they would love that because that's sales. You're increasing the ROI.
Correct.
Ooh.
Correct. And that is how I got into sales. In technology solutions. Total solutions. Which was a tech resell. We were reselling MPESA machines, Sahara, HP, Dell, as in we were reselling computers.
So you took yourself to them,
yes,
presented a solution,
yes,
for them.
Yes, I told them because I showed up and they're like, I think I applied. Now this time email is more of a thing. So I applied on email because this is 2004.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So and then it's an IT company. So email is more of a thing. There I know for sure I have the expertise. So it's just about sales. Yeah, so I applied, they called me for the interview. And they told me they would pay me 40,000. No, sorry, I lie. 25,000. Okay. Yes.
But it's not 15.
It's not 15.
That you've been stagnant on.
It's not 15. And I believe in his version, that's how God came to reassure me that he's with me. First helping me grasp what that opportunity could be, but then giving me the courage to go on and position it. So then, I started that journey. Only the culture in that space, because of the companies that were there, was not good. So I didn't enjoy my sales bit. So, but then this is later now, 2004 into 2005. Remember now I've become 24 because I'm an 80 born. So I turn with
yes.
Yeah. So
your birthday is easy to know.
It's easy to know. So 24. Then now I'm getting into 25, and getting into 25 in this company. Then I think the sales were not doing so well.
How was that experience though? Because now you're the one who would take yourself to the other companies.
Correct. And also respond to tenders.
Okay.
So it teaches you to, respond to tenders and all that.
So a newspaper you're buying on the daily.
Correct.
Go reading it.
Yes, engage in tenders, go for tender openings, speak to customers. Then Total Solutions opened retail outlets. So people could come. In fact, when my father now, because remember he has a background.
Yes.
He went and opened a shop in Chuka where he had a machine. So it was like he could do typing, as in anything computer related. But also because we were selling copiers, he bought a copier from me, from Total Solutions. Yeah, because we were selling refurbished copiers. I was working in the head office. But then the strategy for the company changed and they said, instead of having people in the head office who are attending to corporate, they want to move some of us to go to the retail. And then got into a partnership with Uchumi. So Uchumi had like spaces where you could go and buy anything computer related and the copiers. So when the strategy changed, the founder, the boss came and told me, they loved me. As in I showed up, as in this, I was now living aware. And this is the year now I'm 25. And remember also, this is the year I'm consciously moving into the be a Christian, all those, what is expected of you. I'm reading the Bible a little more. I'm attending church a bit more. But then my friends who are my friends are the same ones who would go out. So that mix, it becomes hard. And of course, now Holy Spirit in, the one for, but Kendi, where are we? And then you go for service on Sunday. So I wouldn't miss the church. But then I remember one of the sermons, the pastor would say, and you know, some of you went clubbing yesterday, you're even struggling, you're here almost with a hangover. I'm listening to that, I'm like, okay, that message is directly for me. And he's saying, that is not a good thing. And then the scripture of the lukewarm will be splat out. So I know I'm living this very in-between life. Anyway, the founder of Social Solutions comes and says, we are changing the strategy of the company, and we want you to move to Uchumi, the Langata one. Choose whichever. Uchumi, there was Langata, there was Westlands. I was living in Ngumu at the time. No, now I had gotten a roommate. We were living in Langata. I had left and we were living in Langata. So I was like, actually, and he knew I was living in Langata. Like, it's easy for you. It's actually close to where you are. And then they changed. And then instead of compensating you, I think 25K, we'll do either 20K and then commission or something like that. I listened to that conversation. I told God, you said we work together. This one, no. This one, no. And I need you to help me. Then as I was talking to God, he told me, you know also you're not being serious with me. You know that lukewarm thing? Then I was like, okay, show me how. You know my friends. I need friends. I need company in this bit. ICC had the young adults ministry. They used to meet every Friday, every last Friday of the month. Wait. I turned 25, 30th of May. I'm still working for Total Office Solutions. 25 for me was a big, as in, I'm like, guy, you're not a child anymore. 25, you're big, as in it's big. And then I reflect, I took time, I'm very reflective. I allowed myself to live through the decisions I had made throughout my life. And on that birthday, I told myself, up to here, you can have an excuse. Because up to 25, you can say I was not told. You can blame it on the family I was born in. You can blame it on so many other things.
Friends, kila kitu.
Everything. But 25, you are a legit adult. Any decision you make from this time forward is on you. That is, it's on me. Meaning, I needed to make the decision of, am I letting myself down again? Or am I showing up for myself? So my life, it is Kendi before 25 and Kendi after 25. That birthday, in agreement with God, who I had now, because I knew I'm born again. I went for fellowship, I went on my knees, I prayed, and I told him, from now on, I live for you. Now, make this work, and start with my friends. I am telling you, he told me, go for young adults in ICC. That's how you're going to meet young people. You will have a new crop of friends. And that's also how you're going to... then in myself, when I hear young people, also 25, because as girls, we grow up, you think you'll be married by 25. Get children by 26, 30. So I tell myself, also church is where I want to meet my husband. So before
this, were you playing around and dating?
Of course. Okay. My heart was broken. Oh, it was broken. And I learned not to... No, I was like, there's no way. So that is why I told myself, the caliber of people I find in the club, that's not what I want. Maybe what I want is in the church. Let me go give it a try. My heart was played with. I met all form of characters. Alcohol, you're living a careless life, really. As long as there's alcohol, it's a very careless life. So I told myself, let me start. In fact, the mark at that point was like, even wine, it's a no for me. I'm living a sober life, and I am aware of every move, every decision I make. So I turned 25 on 30th May. I think the next gathering, if I'm not wrong, 25th June was a Friday, and I think it was the last Friday of that June. There was a young adults gathering. So I told myself, let me go, let me see who's there, as I also check out the guys who are there. Maybe church has. I show up, there are 80% women, maybe actually 85% women, 15% men. And I pulled one of my colleagues from Total Solutions, Nancy, yeah. And I told her, come. Well, actually, I know why. Yes, I told her, Nancy was a bit older than me, I think 5 years. She was getting, or 4 years. She was going to celebrate her 30th birthday sooner. And then I told her, Nancy, why aren't you married? Come, it's because you go to the club. Because we used to go to the club with her. I'm like, it's because the only place you hang out is the club. Come, I take you to church. We will get you a husband. So we went to get Nancy a husband in church before she turns 30.
Yes.
And the gathering was for 25 to 35-year-olds. So I was like, you will find people who are over 30 and going to 35. Anyway, we show up, as I said, statistics, 85% women, 15% guys. I look at Nancy, I'm like, I guess our strategy has failed. But now, since we are here and we came all the way, because you know we're coming from Westlands. We came from the Westlands office, and it is Mombasa Road. So we've braved all that traffic. Yeah. And it's a Friday. Instead of going to town to a bar, we've gone on a Friday. And this is after payday. We've gone on Friday to church.
With the madness that Mombasa Road used to have.
Yes. So Nancy is around, even me, we looked around, we're like, Ukwa turudi, we're not coming back. Of course, that is the immediate thing we said in our head. But who's got? On that day, what the ICC Young Adults Ministry had discovered is that people used to gather in church or once a month, but it was not enough to drive accountability among the young adults. So what was decided is that they're going to start small groups for the young adults. And in those small groups, people will be meeting at least every week. And then each would have an accountability person, one-on-one, to be like, how are you doing? How is your faith? Are you growing? And especially because for those who are younger in faith, they know. Yeah. To do that, they say, we are counting 1, I think, to 8 or something. You count 1, 2, 3, I think I counted 8 or 5, one of the two. All I know is that they combined the number 5 and the number 8 to form a group. So we come together. That's the young adults. Remember, this is day 1 of me coming for young adults. Yes. We come together in our group. I think we are 5 on that day. And what you're supposed to do is pick the names and the contacts of whoever is in the small group, and then give yourselves a name. So we are meeting for the first time. Me, I introduce myself. Everyone is introducing themselves. Also, it's my turn. I introduce myself. My name is Kendi. I come on Sunday. I warm the pew, but I just thought, let me be a bit more engaged, and hence I'm here. Yes, and I'm born again. The name for the group, people can't agree. What do they all decide? The 4 others. In the interim, because you have such an amazing name, our group is going to be called Kendi. I was not planning to come back. Yes. So now, when you have a group called Kendi, how are you not coming back?
Everyone knows you already.
Correct. No, first, even when the pastor receives this list of small groups, people are calling themselves Grace, Favor, what. Then somewhere shows Kendi. So, and then on that Kendi, there's a group member who's called Kendi. You know, it felt so odd but yet they were serious. Yeah. Nancy Ngigi, you insisted. In fact, it was you, Nancy. You insisted, but God was using you. Because of that, then, when they called, and then we didn't name a leader. Yeah. But because they needed to coordinate someone, I went as the default leader for the small group. What does that mean? It meant I needed to show back up again. Yeah. And then because I'm a small group leader, we have to show up for strategy. We have to show up for, as in he has to mentor us, Pastor Munene, thank you. He has to mentor us directly as the leaders so that we are living a life that exemplifies Christ and so that we can mentor the group members. Yeah. And that is how my journey with God started. That is how I got deep with God now. Because
now every week you're there literally.
Yes.
And not for church, not for Sunday service.
No. And it was Saturdays. We would go, and then they would serve sausages. They know how to, you know, if you're getting sausages and samosas and all that, why won't you show up? And what are you doing on Saturday morning? So then I stopped going to the club. I
got a new set of friends.
Started getting new friends, because now, you see, in the gathering, if I was only coming once, I would not have gotten friends. But now, because we're in the small group, the other leaders are the ones who became my friends. Because the other leads who were there.
Yes.
And because we were the leaders now of young adults.
And also now, of course, even the group that you're...
And the group, yes. And the group
Kendi's
yes,
minions.
Which we changed. We changed to... I forget what we called it, but we changed the name after the second or third. Yeah. But now I'm the one making people accountable to come and show up for
Wow.
for work, for church, for God, for all those things.
Random question. Did your friend come back ever?
No.
So this is all a setup for you?
Yeah. It was for me. She didn't come back. She had no reason to come back. Yeah. And that's how ICC became my church.
I get it.
Yes. That's
and how you began to grow in God.
And that's how I began to grow in God. And that is why I say I'm a child of the Most High. Because he called me to him as his child.
Okay.
Yeah. And and that's my identity. Of everything else, that is my first identity.
You know, and I'll say this, I love that you're in corporate Kenya and you put that first. A long time ago, a couple of years ago, not a long time ago, people wouldn't put that first as especially in the position that you are. You get? So I'm so proud that you'd put that out first. And I didn't introduce you like that, not because I didn't know you of that, but out of, it's not my place to put that out first for you. What I'd love to hear is what that then, how then that affects your corporate life and the rest of your life. Already I can hear it affecting it hidden. The things that have happened in your life, there's nothing like coincidental. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm the word that people use is woke, but I'm aware enough to understand that things don't just happen. But now imagine when it's intentional.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's like when you said, I'm going to go, I'm going to sit on the third row, I want to hear this. So that's intentional.
Yes.
And then you see the effect from a spiritual perspective happen. That's nice from that perspective. What the question becomes is, does this thing work out in the corporate life? And I don't want you to say yes. Later on, as you give your journey, if it does.
And that's now, and the reason it was, and I know I've dwelt on that bit.
There's nothing like dwelling. This CTA.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, for anyone listening, I know I have spent time on this bit, which may be uncomfortable for some people listening, but it's because I need for whoever is listening to understand that the next part of my life would not have happened without this. And that's the truth. It would not have. Because, Richie, what happens? That is when I'm made to make the choice to either go to Uchumi or to stay in the head office in Total Solutions. But because I have this confidence in God, and he's already called me, and now I'm now doing the word thing, and I'm reading the word, and I'm engaging myself, and I am under the direct mentorship of Pastor Edward Monene, which then translates to direct mentorship of Bishop Philip Kitoto, who is my spiritual father, who invites us. So on Saturdays, first we are invited for planning, almost every Saturday in church. On Sundays, every once a month, Philip Kitoto takes us in, me to his home as his daughters, to make sure that he's coaching us. As in, I am under direct coaching and mentorship of these spiritual leaders.
From a church perspective, what I'm beginning to hear, is this like the birth of ICC from the Mombasa Road perspective? Or is this like the beginning of ICC? I don't know.
No. ICC had been there. It's only that the intentional bit of ICC is small group, and it is communion in small groups. Whether it is marriage, and then at the time, Bishop Kitoto was the senior pastor in ICC. And his calling is on families. And so, you know, the calling on you is what goes to the congregation. So he was very intentional in terms of marriage, the marriage enrichment, the youth, the journey to that, what the youth are engaging. He's still very intentional in that, but particularly so even then. So we would go to Bishop Kitoto's home with dinner, and they would have a spread for us. And then, first it was the girls. Then he realized these girls will start to be seen very soon by the boys. Then he said, do you have friends? Be inviting these boys. In fact, it would be like, if any boy shows you interest, invite them to come over. So we would go sit in his living room, like 14 or so of us. We were called, the name will come back. That name will come.
Okay.
But would go like 14 of us, sit under his counsel. We have direct access to him.
As 25-year-olds?
Yes. Direct access to him. So I said no to that job, not because I had a job. I said no because I told God, I am serving you. You're using me as a vessel for your kingdom. So things need to align. I don't want a direct sales job. I don't like it. But I also want of a more corporate structure. In fact, I told him what I'm going to do, because I don't want to linger in this part of I've said no to a job and I should be working. That time I had a roommate and she was doing some events. So she would help keep me busy. Thank you, Ann Minge. And she would call me in. We would, because they would do events, because she was working for the Kenya Breast Health, the program that runs that. So I'd go in to keep busy. And then, remember, I had experience of running events or being subcontracted. Or she would actually give me to supply, as in like cartridges and all that. So then I could make money, which would be, that difference would be enough to help pay my rent. So you see, God somehow in his own way sent resources around me and used people, because God uses people to bless people. Then at one time...
You didn't say no to the Uchumi Langata job. You quit the whole organization. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes.
So it's not that you said no, but I'll stay in head office.
No.
You were like,
the head office was not an option.
Oh, it was not an option.
It was not an option.
It was restructuring, and
yes, you're like, we like
okay,
you.
My season has ended.
Yes, we like you, but we want to keep you. We want you to do Uchumi.
So we're like, no, thank you.
No, I'm like, thank you. I appreciate, but my season here is done.
Okay. So now is when you go with your friend.
Yes.
Okay, and now you're doing these other cartridge jobs and things.
Correct. So I'm supplying cartridges, because we'll do a lot of print work for the events and all of that. Then I was like, you know what? Let me take a break. I've never been out of this country. And I'm told, TZ, I don't need anything. I just need my ID or something like that. And that time there was the coaches. I don't know if
Arusha, Asubuhi, 5 a.m.
Yes.
Not Arusha, da.
Correct. And the currency for TZ was weaker than the one for... So in one of those gigs that I did, those ones, I told Anne, I'm like, let me go to TZ as I see other things outside of... I'd not left the country. As I see other things outside of Kenya, and as God and I have a conversation. So I got into the bus and went to TZ for 3 weeks. It was a 3-week. I returned, whatever, for 3 weeks.
Can we do that pause again?
Yes.
Let's take a pause. Let's ensure that we don't lose this footage. We're coming back in a few seconds.